me started.
Well, on
I
that
don't know
note,
about things.
welcome to a news episode of the Phantom Zone. I am ostensibly your host yet again, Eric Fedorchak, because Connor McGraw was caught in some sort of windstorm and tornado. And who else is here with me? Introduce yourselves, gentlemen.
It's me, Arthur Morgan. Dutch, we
Arthur,
gotta do something
you need
about
to
this.
have faith. You need to have faith so we can
come
get
on,
that Tahiti.
Come on, Dutch.
My name's John Marston.
This is already the best show we've ever done. It's already perfect.
I am Arlen Harrow, and I got a big old dick.
Yeah. I am at Young Combat _
You underscore comment? You're here?
Jesus Christ.
Look, I'm trying to wake myself up because I was laying down and I forgot I was invited on this. I need the laughter and just the randomness to wake myself up. I know.
Yeah, I do want to say, I'm Hunter Davenport, and I just signed a deal to appear in the new Daily Wire movie.
Wait, what?
Me and Ben Shapiro go way back.
Yeah.
Well, when you guys stand next to each other, it's like, the cover to Twins.
You also know nothing about turning women on, so
Yeah,
you've got
true.
that in common.
Hey, have you ever seen that movie,
Oh,
My
his
Giant?
Dr.
That's
Wife.
the movie we're remaking.
Yeah.
It just can't be healthy to be that wet.
Right.
He's playing Billy Crystal, and I'm playing the Giant.
Oh, God.
But there's going to be subtle white supremacy messages throughout the entire movie.
Yeah.
Very subtle, just very well hidden. Yeah, they'll be there.
Yeah, and instead of taking an interlude at the halfway mark, it'll just ask you to give a sig hail. So
yeah, exactly.
the first thing on the docket this evening would be there's apparently a MoviePass documentary underway, which I don't really know anything about. I'm guessing it's about the terrible shit show that MoviePass became.
Yeah, it appears to be a documentary by the guy who did The Biggest Loser.
Oh,
and The Day I Met El Chapo, and then who's the other big name that was on here? Somebody else.
Dean
Alex
Cain, no.
Gibney. Yeah,
Gina
Alex
Carano.
Gibney, who's done a lot of good stuff over at HBO. And they're doing a MoviePass documentary, and it looks like they're getting all.
We can only watch it if you have MoviePass.
Exactly. It's a last-ditch effort to bring back MoviePass, a company which I hate, and I've been very vocal about how much I hate them, and that's why they're on here. So yeah, this would be interesting. Getting AMC, Regal, and Cinemark saying what they thought about MoviePass.
Well, it's not like they're doing anything a lot right now.
Right, exactly.
no, they're not doing shit right now. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost got MoviePass multiple times, and my wife almost got me. I think it was either AMC, not AMC, because we don't have any AMCs near us, but MoviePass like around Christmas or something similar to that. I think Regal has something like that. And she's like, I decided not to. And it's like, well, thank God she didn't. Because that would have been the biggest waste of money she could have ever spent.
Yep.
Who knows? Would have gotten your credit card info.
Oh, God. Well, it wouldn't have been mine, so. Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll be fine.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, MoviePass was always something that I was like, when is this going to fail? Oh, it's failing now. Okay, cool. So
almost immediately.
Yeah, it happened very quickly. And for anybody who wants to, for anybody who wants to know my drama, just go to the episode titled "Fuck MoviePass," because it was an experience that I do not enjoy thinking about. So yeah, this is the speed round, and that's all we really have to say. If anybody wants,
no, I mean I don't have anything else to say about it. So the next one, this man was very formative to me when I was younger, and I believe he was the first man that ever introduced me to what a taint was. And Larry Flynt has passed away at 78.
Okay, yeah, that happens.
He's been dying for like 40 years.
Okay,
Yeah, I mean,
so
when I saw that, I didn't know how to react. I was like, yeah, I guess Larry Flint was the guy that was still alive.
I had like when I saw this earlier in the week, where I was like, oh, I don't know who that is, and then I like had to Google it. I was like, you fucking perverts.
I was more sad for like I was more sad about like Cicely Tyson and like what's the guy from Knives Out? Fuck, Christopher Plummer.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was like, no, they seem like nice old actors, and like Larry Flint. That is like, all right.
I feel like this speaks to your guys' youth, because even though like I'm significantly younger than Eric, so I could throw that out. Not really though, but like Larry Flint, like historically, is a very important person.
Yes,
So,
yes, he is.
I don't know much about him.
This is why I included him, because he's kind of important outside of his industry. He did a lot for freedom of speech.
Yep.
In ways that actually matter. Yeah.
He got shot and crippled over it.
Yes.
And for anybody who is still listening to us somehow, who is one of those people that tries to use freedom of speech all the time to support shitty opinions that you have, look up this man and the court case that he was involved in, and how he actually furthered freedom of speech in this country.
There's also a really good movie about it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, I mean, you guys are aware.
It's called Mink.
I'm
sorry. I got to throw in jokes in there. I'm sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of like the case with Jerry Falwell, like what it was that Larry Flint had written, and why there was a whole lawsuit from Jerry Falwell, and Larry Flint became a champion of free speech. But he basically said that Jerry Falwell, and I'm paraphrasing here, got his mother pregnant in an outhouse.
It's kind of like that real story with that new congressperson, right?
Oh yeah,
yeah.
The Midnight Express guy.
Oh god, that terrible QAnon cunt. And one of the QAnon cunts. But yeah, it was that, and he also was offering, I think it was $100 million if somebody could offer proof of Donald Trump involved in an extramarital affair.
Wow.
If I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was a pornographer, like through and through, but dude was
I don't know much about him.
Dude was using his terrible exploitative money to do good things sometimes. So
yeah, he wasn't completely a shitbag. He was just kind of like a perv.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
He was just
he was an open like pervert about like what he liked sexually, and and the part like he got shot by, he was a very liberal person, and the person who shot him was a white supremacist and serial killer.
Donald Trump himself.
I mean,
if the shoe fits.
Yeah. I mean, I'll just put it this way: Hef got a lot of credit for things he deserved no credit for. And a lot of that credit should have gone to Larry Flint, I would say. Just looking back and comparing the two men, Hef got a lot of credit for doing it first, and for
I think his Hef was a little more charming, so people kind of like, oh yeah, Hef, he's really good. But like,
Hef and Playboy were the classy thing, and Flint and Hustler were were the trash, but they were they were smut. As opposed to
like the magazine full of cum.
People could read Playboy for the articles.
Exactly.
With the Hustler for just the pure cum that pours out of the magazine.
Like Flint let you see what those girls together in third grade. Like that was the type of magazine he was running. So, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's an audience for it, and there's nothing fucking wrong with pornography as long as everybody is okay with it. Like,
who gives a fuck?
Yeah. So
as long as there's no furries involved. I'm kidding.
Listen, if you
exactly.
Exactly. Even if there are furries, as long as you're doing it and you want to be there, that's fine. Looking at
adults.
Pornhub right now.
He was also like kind of like an early troll. Like if he existed now, he would be hilarious. Because like I'm reading through his Wikipedia, it's like at one point he converted to being an evangelical Christian for 1 year after Ruth Carter Stapleton, sister to President Jimmy Carter, like converted him. And then on a plane, he's like, "Yeah, I'm going on a plane back. I'm vowing to hustle God, and called himself an atheist like right after it.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's you are correct as that Plummer and Cicely Tyson passing are I don't know, a little bit more tragic.
No.
And
I actually didn't even know about
right.
Cicely Tyson, and I'm kind of devastated.
Yeah, those just didn't happen very recently, so that's why they weren't on here. But yeah, no, they Plummer hurt quite a bit. It doesn't help that we had already thought he was dead, or some of us had already thought he was dead.
Well, because we confused him with Max von Sydow.
Yes.
Right.
He died like
I was gonna say I'm sad that they both died because they're both like my grandfathers in Skyrim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like they're both in Skyrim and they both like the old white men that like teach you things. It's like, oh man.
That's really that? Really?
Yeah. So Max von Sydow is Esbern, and Christopher Plummer is Arnbjorn. He's one of the Greybeards.
How did I not know this?
I might be saying his name wrong.
No, I know who you're talking about.
Wow, you're a fucking fake fan, Hunter.
Dude.
Close enough.
Get
Yeah,
out.
Hunter, how many Skyrim characters do you know?
I name all of them if you love Skyrim so much.
If you love Skyrim so much, name 5 women you hate.
Brie Larson.
How dare she hate men because men are shitty?
Yeah, exactly. How dare she want to help people?
It's almost like men deserve it or something.
Yeah.
She looked at her co-stars weird in this one freeze frame.
Excuse me, as I adjust my fedora. Not all men, sir. So on to the main stories. So Adam Wingard wants to do a Face-Off sequel, apparently.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
hell yeah,
Yeah.
do it.
Cocaine still exists, so.
Oh, I had a funny bit. I had a funny bit about this when I heard about this. So I was saying that like, so they could either go like, Face Off was like a wacky kind of like unrealistic fun movie. So like you can either embrace the like, yeah, it's kind of stupid and wacky, but we're gonna just do it again, or you can like make it even wackier and have like the sequel. It's like instead of just 2 guys, it's like 6 guys, and they like swap their faces back and forth all over, and you're very confused.
See, I think the way to go is to just remake the entire first movie, but switch the roles.
No, I want the original guys to come back also, and they've switched again.
No. Like you literally do the entire first movie, but you have Nicolas Cage play what was originally John Travolta's part, and John Travolta played Nick Cage's part, but then they swap faces again.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
If you make a Face-Off sequel, there's no how. You just do. You just you just fucking make it.
Yeah, you do. Exactly. Yeah, and what made me excited that I learned later is they've been pitching this since they became a team, which has been 10 years. And this is Barrett also. This is the other thing. This is Adam Wingard and Simon Barrett, who haven't worked together since Blair Witch. Not on anything that actually got made, at least. So I'm more pumped for this, knowing that they've been working on this for a very long time.
Can I put on one thing though?
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say it. Why no blackface?
I mean,
no comment.
We don't know that
you could do this movie with like any pair of people, like ever, which was like the whole thing because it was.
But blackface off. You don't get what I'm saying.
Wait, that's
blackface.
Spike Lee already did that movie. It's called Bamboozled.
I thought that
you're right.
Is that the Justin Trudeau biopic?
Oh,
fuck!
Jesus Christ! Don't. He's our sweet northern elf. Don't do that to him.
I don't know.
It's okay. He's going to be replaced by a fascist in like 2 years, so it'll be fun.
He's already not like he's already kind of fucked up some of his goodwill. I mean,
yeah, he has.
Sure, yeah. But still, he's still their Obama, and well, we had our Obama, and then we
I mean, like, because Obama's definitely like one of the better presidents, even though he still has things about him. It's like we're not cool with everything he's done.
No. How about them drones, Obama? How about them drones?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
like
that tan suit, fucking tan goddamn suit.
Anyways, whatever they're doing with this, whatever. Like when they said it was a remake, I was in. Hearing it's a sequel, that sounds insane. I'm into whatever they're doing. I suggested bringing in Dan Stevens in some form. because it's Dan Stevens.
But wait. What if they turn it on his head where it's like, the original Face Off, it's Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. Switch faces is kind of stupid, but yeah, it works. But like, what if this time they're like, okay, Sterling K. Brown and Charlize Theron switch faces?
I would love it to go that insane.
Well, they could just make a Face-Off cinematic universe, but you just make the same movie, but with two different actors.
And no, but like, you keep adding different actors and then like adding different dynamics. Where it's like,
hold on, because all the ones that they had that they wanted to do, because originally, like when they was written, it was supposed to be Michael Douglas and Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
And
that was
then
that was a version of it.
An Arnold and Stallone.
I really want a Face-Off movie where it's Michael Shannon and Judi Dench. Please, someone do that.
So I mean, Lou, it's sounding like there's a rich vein to tap into here for the FOCU, the Face-Off cinematic universe.
Yes.
Yeah. God damn it!
I mean, if we get to go back into theaters again, I will be there every fucking screening for every premiere if they make this into a series, because
I would like it to be at the point where the child of John Travolta's character ends up having to get revenge on a bully, so he has to change faces with the kid at school.
See, the thing is, you haven't seen this movie in a while. John Travolta's kid's dead. He adopted.
Okay, no. So here's the thing, Lou. The way he dies isn't like some insane death where you'd have to bend over backwards to justify how
he was wearing a tiny bulletproof vest.
So wait, they faked the kid's death and took him away to be trained by like monks. Like,
I mean, in the case of John Travolta, because
cyborg.
If you remember,
what if
he dies from a spear gun to the gut?
I'm going to say this:
that's not an explosion.
Is exactly what he's saying. John Travolta's kid never died, but he grows up to be like his adult form is Nicolas Cage, even though he's John Travolta's son. He grows up to be John Travolta, but the adopted son, which was Nicolas Cage's son that John Travolta raised, grows up to be Nicolas Cage because it's his son.
Wait, you guys aren't thinking.
And now it's their son.
Enough.
They're playing their sons, and they.
No, listen. They gotta have a flashback scene where it wasn't even his son at all. They switched faces with another kid, so he thought his son got killed. And the whole time, his son was alive.
So wait,
but he's a secret CIA sleeper kid.
Child's face.
They were switched. The kids' faces were already switched before the whole shit. The movie fucking. So.
I mean, there's so many things.
All I want is in this movie for them to have an insane like gratuitous like dove release for no reason.
I was going to say a t-shirt cannon full of doves that they would shoot out at various times.
Obviously,
to just drive through a truck that's just full of doves and they just all release.
Yeah. The movie, the production logo opens with like John Woo murdering Michael Bay. You know he gets real.
So does anybody else have anything else to say about Face Off, or we kind of run that train to the end of its line?
The technology's there. We can do it. We can build.
Yeah.
We can make it
I hope there is like a moment where like 100 people reveal that they've been Face Off.
Yes.
But you didn't realize they've been Face Off. Like
I am Face Off.
Like I really.
I hate that you turned that into a verb. It's been Face Off.
No, the real twist would be like someone takes the face off, but there's a different face underneath, but then they take that face off. They double
Face Off 2.0, where you can just put new faces on top of your own face. Exactly. Give it to me.
I hate all of this. On the other things that we all pretty much hate. Hey, guess what happened to Gina Carano?
She's doing well. She learned her lessons, and she's like very, very like open about.
She is now looking forward to a very bright career in Hollywood.
Yeah, she doesn't think anything weird about trans people, or wearing a mask during a pandemic.
Fuck. Or about elections being stolen, or
masks needing to be worn,
or giving fucking.
Hey, hypothetical question that has nothing to do with anything. Imagine if you were getting a fucking spinoff with a fucking Disney Plus fucking app. We get major Disney money, and you fuck that up. That'd be wild.
In a franchise that literally prints money.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, even the bad Star Wars movies made a lot of money.
Oh, and the fact that like they just announced it, they basically like, oh, we're gonna make this thing around you, even though you've already fucked up. We're gonna make this thing around you.
Well, that was the thing. Like the December earnings call, like their whole big thing that was supposed to be like D23 and everything else, they were going to apparently announce her being in the show, and they canceled that because of the shit she had been saying.
They announced the show, but they didn't connect her directly to it.
Yeah,
right. They left it for people to assume for themselves, but they did not like officially tie her to it.
I cannot believe she couldn't keep her fucking mouth shut. Like, she makes enough money that she should have a PR person and someone who's running her Instagram and Twitter for her.
Exactly.
Well, because even the rest of the cast, they still weren't hating on her. They're like, hey, she was weird opinions, but like, we love her. She's a good cast member, whatever. Well, so like, just shut up and like, don't stick up for you.
I mean, Pedro Pascal's sister, she just came out as trans, and like, and talk to her about the importance of like gender pronouns and properly like giving people the pronouns that they want, and she apparently understood, but nope, she didn't. She did not. Like, I can't say I'm disappointed because I mean, it's not like she was this huge tentpole of the show. Like, she came on, said like 4 or 5 lines, pointed a gun at somebody, and then said something sarcastic.
I will be honest. I don't think she's that great of an actress.
She's not.
No, I don't think she ever was.
She's not. Yeah. She's good at like doing physical stuff.
Yeah,
and like doing like she's a fighter.
I like
in that first
doing the cool like shoot gunny stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the appreciation for her for me in the first season was almost entirely, she didn't fuck that up. She in the scenes where scenes where you would think that she would fail miserably, she wasn't awful. That's
like she hits her marks and she does her lines. Like, she wasn't terrible, but she was not great.
You could say the same thing about horses in some movies.
Right. That horse did not really kill every person who wrote it.
Horses were better than Gina Carano.
Well, the whole thing is like her entire career exists because that's how bad Ronda Rousey is at acting.
Yeah.
Well, and that's pretty much something else to touch back on what you were saying, Arlen, like about like being impressed by her. Like, my big thing was that they didn't give her role to someone who's like 5'11" and like 120 pounds. They're just like, no, let's give this to someone who's obviously a bit of a larger woman. I mean, that was all muscle, don't get me wrong, but they didn't go with the typical like Hollywood star look. And that was awesome of them, but nope, nothing awesome about that.
Honestly,
actress.
Before I knew about her shitty opinions, I thought she was kind of cool. I was like, oh, she's a cool fighter, and she seems like, like a. She seemed like a nice person until like I knew about this. Like, oh fuck.
Well, it makes me wonder if she's always been like this, or if she started being like
she
this.
Probably has,
and that's why Henry Cavill was no.
Yeah, Lou's gonna know exactly what I'm gonna say here. This is a thing that a lot of UFC fighters feel. A lot of them have very similar opinions.
Well, a lot of them are very religious. They are very conservative. They grow up in like very like tough situations. And fighting's their only way out.
Also, for female UFC fighters, there's been an ongoing conversation about trans women in the UFC.
Specifically, there's a very famous thing where like it was a trans fighter fought without disclosing they were trans against women, and it became like a really big deal because she destroyed everyone she fought, and it became like a very topic I don't even know.
I kind of understand it, but it's still weird because it's like the way people talk about it still.
Well, I think the outrage about that trans MMA fighter was because she was in the women's locker room and in their bathrooms, and you don't know what she was going to do because she used to be a man.
I think that's part of it.
There's a little bit of that, but there's also like the physical stuff. And she also was part of, because like one of her, probably like Gina specifically, most famous fight was a loss. It's her last fight was against a fighter named Cyborg, who is very famously taken a lot of heat. She's done a lot of, not proven, but if you look at photos, you can tell she's taken a lot of extracurricular vitamins.
Heroin?
No.
HGH?
Yeah, all of those.
Okay.
Soldier serum?
Yeah, and like
ready to
also
comply.
took a lot of heat.
Eagle music plays
for like people making fun of her for the way she looks because she's super masculine, and she beat the shit out of Gina Carano.
Yeah.
Maybe
she deserved it.
Exactly. That was what I was trying
So
to
the point is that she's always had these opinions. It's just she got to a certain level of security in this role, and she just decided to let it all out.
I mean, are you telling me that someone who gets punched in the head for a living is not very smart about social economic issues?
She only had 8 fights. That's
yeah.
And
well, isn't that pretty typical for a certain level?
I think Rhonda had like 20 something, and that's not even that much.
So one fight for every episode of Mandalorian she's in.
Rhonda really had 30 if you include those 2 times, or at least that one time where she got kicked in the neck.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. I'm trying to find a picture.
That counts for like 10.
Gina Carano's face.
Well, I guess going back to my earlier question, then, does this mean that this explains why Henry Cavill is so willing to be in Zack Snyder's film so quickly for the Justice League stuff? Does this mean that Henry Cavill is secretly a shithead, but he knows how to keep quiet about it?
See, here's the thing. I don't think that's the case. I think he's just a huge fucking nerd.
I think that's why he broke up with her. I really think that's why. And I think that there is... We talked about this in a chat. Hollywood likes to present itself as very liberal, but it's really not.
No.
It's only it's a rare case where you get the Charlie Hunnams of the world being like, "Yeah, I listen to Jordan Peterson," and stuff like that.
He does?
Do you not know about this? Charlie Hunnam is a super stan for Jordan Peterson.
That's not great.
Yeah, and apparently he kind of indoctrinates.
He's an incel. He's an incel. They're telling me.
He's a dude. So yeah. Well, yeah. It's a problem. It's a thing that happens. Where were we? Gina
Carano and Henry Cavill.
So this story is not great. There was a development which I fucking predicted down to the fucking T, which is that she is now working with
Ben Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro, the WAP hater himself. But this is the important part. She is also working with the guys over at Cinestate, which is a topic that we discussed very recently. And
I don't know what Cinestate is.
Cinestate is a conservative film.
Texas Nazis.
Yeah, Texas company. A director who's made notable films such as Bone Tomahawk, which was very divisive to most audiences.
Real split down the middle.
Yeah, really just like cleaved them in half. If you haven't seen Bone Tomahawk, that joke makes no sense.
Okay.
I have don't because you don't need to now. But S. Craig Zoller, who I'm fairly sure is a Nazi. If he's not, he's like Nazi adjacent. Cinestate is overall a bunch of conservative dickbags. So, but the problem with them is they make movies and they make them really well. So Gina Carano's movies are going to look really good and they're kind of going to be written really well, but they're also going to really sell some hardcore conservative bullshit.
It's gonna be Star Wars, but the Empire's cancel culture. Like, I really think that's what they're gonna do.
Probably. You're probably not far off.
But
they'll have a main character who is in favor of cancel culture, who's there to be to be the straw man, who eventually turns over to the conservative side at the end. Because I've seen enough of these movies to know that that's exactly what they'll do.
If you've watched, and I don't know why you would, like any of those like 80s action stars, specifically I think of Steven Seagal, like any of his movies that he's made in the last like 10, 15 years, maybe like 20 years, it's like all that kind of like very not subtle, super conservative stuff because he's like a crazy person too.
Yeah, a lot of those actors are doing movies like that. But here's the thing: if she was doing stuff exactly like that, it wouldn't be a concern for me because a lot of those movies are just really badly made. Like the Kevin Sorbos of the world and the God's Not Deads and stuff that Dean Cain does.
Yeah.
That stuff doesn't worry me because it's so shittily made.
Both of those people appeared in Supergirl.
Yeah.
Check out the project
like,
me and Hunter called God's Not Poggers.
Well, Lou, I think that they were
pretty weird, champ.
I think the reason that neither of them are in that show for very long is because Melissa was like, every fucking day I have to spend with these men who I want to fucking punch in the face so hard.
Oh yeah, well they're both dead, like dead now. They killed Dean Cain off screen.
Yes, they did. They did
in like real life.
Oh, if only fiction could match reality.
Yeah.
Well, it's fine. He'll make all his money doing like a Hallmark Channel or like whatever Christmas movies. He does 12
It's
of them
not
a
just
year.
Hallmark Channel though, because they'll do like these weird super indie movies where it's like a movie called The Talking Cat, and it's just a cat with a bad voice over it.
Sam Roberts.
Well,
right.
Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, I don't know a whole lot about the Hallmark Channel, but I thought conservatives were or the ultra conservatives were kind of turning away from that because they've done some stuff with like gay couples.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, they've gone away from that, but the God's Not Dead stuff still exists. PureFlix still exists. But again, PureFlix stuff is not well done. PureFlix stuff is really bad. I mean, some of it is better than a lot of the other like super indie God propaganda stuff that exists.
PureFlix the ones that like edit existing movies into stuff that's digestible for Christian contemporary families?
That might be a thing that they were doing. They did try and launch their own Netflix subscription service. I know that.
No.
But they're the ones who are responsible for like I can't remember the fucking name of the movie. It's
Blackout.
It stars the guy who was part of Firefest, Ja Rule.
Ja Rule. Oh well, he's a sign of quality anytime he's involved in something.
Yeah,
so.
Ja Rule seal of approval, huh?
I'm trying very hard not to do Ja Rule an impression right now.
It's him in I Fell in Love with a Church Girl, I think is the name of the movie.
Yeah. I see people talk about that movie and it's fucking hilarious how they just like so ridiculous.
Yeah, it's some bonkers shit.
I just want him to be in a retelling of the life of Jesus Christ, and when he's up on the cross, it's murder.
Saint Dismas, you penitent thief.
The name of the movie is "I'm in Love with a Church Girl." By the way,
yes, it is. I'm in love with a church girl.
Kill me.
Yeah,
looking up right now.
It also very much like a fucking shitty written.
Sad.
So back to Gina Carano real quick. Has anyone else noticed the fun thing in any of the groups you might be in on Facebook or outside of that? The way to see this as a dog whistle for the people that you don't want to ever talk to again.
Yeah,
because they're trying to defend what she said.
I don't know. I don't like companies firing people for freedom of speech.
Oh, fuck off.
People still don't understand freedom of speech is
these
like
are
the
people I
government
was
can't
talking
censor your
about
speech.
earlier.
Exactly.
Your job can still fire you?
Yeah. It's I can't go into my work and just start yelling, oh, I don't know, the N-word or any other.
Well, not even take a step back. If you did that on social media, like even like a step less, like you would get fired from your job. Like all jobs look at social media stuff now, and what's funny is like
mine's on private.
Yeah, it's conservative groups who want businesses like to do their own thing in the free markets. Like this is the free market working. Yeah. Somebody doesn't want to work with somebody because their brand doesn't mix with their brand, and that's it. Is Disney an altruistic company that's going to do whatever because he's the betterment of the world? Yeah, totally. That's what they
also care about marketing and how we're gonna get customers to buy shit by not employing Nazis on purpose or whatever.
Well, it's that and fucking Disney company.
Disney already has a tenuous relationship with
Yeah,
Nazism.
kind of
So
weird.
No, but my point is like now they care more about like image, and they're like, hey, we don't want to be seen as, you know.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, like, anybody who's trying to complain about Gina Carano being fired, blah blah, like, how about you look at James Gunn? He was fired by cancel culture, right?
Because they brought up old jokes that he made, which is like, yeah, they weren't cool jokes, but it's also like
that he
why bring that
apologized
up out of
for
nowhere?
before he was even officially on the job.
Yeah,
like,
and that's an actual argument to be had, and it's why then everyone kind of backpedaled, including Disney. Once it's like, the other guys gave him a job and no one gives a shit. It's like, because that was the left eating its own. Like,
also the person that exposed him was kind of like a shitty shitbag. Also, so it's like,
it was one of these conservative groups that I think that what's his name is involved in.
Well, there was one person in particular who was also like a giant piece of shit.
I can't remember his name, but
the Capitol.
I know he advocated for date rape. Is one of his big things.
Exactly.
So this was the guy.
It doesn't matter. It's not important to even know his name.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, exactly.
I do have to say, like, this movie you remembered, Arlen, like, this I'm in Love with a Church Girl has the weirdest cast I've ever seen.
It's an insane.
Read it off.
I learned about this movie from a Maggie Mae Fish video, so shout out to her.
I can say Michael Madsen, Stephen Baldwin, Vincent Pastore, better known as Big Pussy, Ja Rule.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Who else is in this? Some football players. Vernon Davis and Jerry Rice are in this. If you know football.
So the plot of the movie is Ja Rule is trying not to go to prison, or he's about to be caught for like fraud or something. And and because he falls in love with this church girl and starts to turn his life around, Stephen Baldwin is like, I don't know if we should arrest him. He's found God and stuff.
But he's still black sheep.
Is this like Ja Rule trying to do like an Ice Cube thing, but it's not comedy?
Next time the cops harass me for no reason, I'm gonna be like, I believe in Jesus though. And they're like, damn, sorry.
We can't get him.
Yeah, but they'll ask, but what version of Jesus do you believe in?
Here, I
will
do one set of these cuffs for you. This just sounds like a really, really undercooked Medea film.
Yes.
Yeah.
Those movies are super conservative.
I think I also saw the Maggie Mae Fish video and other people like react to it, and it's just like it sounds like it's kind of fun to make fun of because it's just like you can tell like I don't know if Ja Rule himself wrote it or it's just some idiot wrote it, and it's just like this is my fantasy of what would happen.
Even thinking Ja Rule like this, you're giving him too much credit.
Yeah,
God damn it! Who's the boxer who can't read that 50 Cent used to make fun of all the time?
Mayweather.
That's it. Yeah,
he can't read.
He can't read.
I mean, you're assuming that Ja Rule can also read and write. He wasn't just.
I think Ja Rule can read and write, but like he still doesn't use them well. He doesn't use those skills well.
Okay. Speaking of Floyd Mayweather, have you seen the video of 50 Cent saying if Floyd Mayweather could read a single page of a Harry Potter book, he will donate like $50 million?
Oh, dude, that's like 10 years old.
Yeah,
he's been
great.
saying that for forever.
Yeah.
And my favorite joke though is Dave Chappelle a long time ago was like, I can't remember who he was with, but he went to Floyd Mayweather. It's like, oh man, that guy it's like, oh, he's like somebody said like, oh, like making a joke about him being a woman beater. And he's like, yeah, he beats men too. It's like, yeah, he's a fucking horrible human being, like Floyd Mayweather. Besides the fact being an illiterate piece of shit.
Yeah.
But yeah. So long story short, Gina Carano is terrible, and she deserves every terrible thing that's going to happen to her career going forward. And hopefully, she will die alone and penniless.
She's gonna be in Deadpool 3.
And hopefully, Ben Shapiro's movies fail utterly. Because I would like that.
I hope he drowns in a gallon of women's secretion.
I hope the state is burned to the ground.
No, he'd probably be. Well, I mean, it wouldn't actually take a gallon either. It would probably just take a bucket because he's a very small man.
When is Ben Shapiro going to realize that like conservatives don't like Jews either? Because he's Jewish, but he's also very conservative. It's confusing when like you have people.
Yeah, he talks about it.
It's weird when marginalized people are like conservative, and it's like,
well, the guy that makes
you.
Bone Tomahawk and all that stuff, he's Jewish too.
Yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah. Ike Perlmutter, giant supporter of Trump, Israeli. So,
well, that's a different thing.
There is a weird crossover.
Americans.
Yeah.
They're still hated by white supremacists.
No, definitely. But there are a lot of white supremacists that kind of like enable the Israeli oppression of like Palestinians because they're like,
they like Israel because that's where the world's going to end, and so they want America to still have control of it.
It's a long game thing where they're like, if we get them all to go there, the apocalypse can start, and then we can kill all of them at the same time.
Hilarious.
And white supremacists also like Israelis a whole lot because they have really good weapons. And
exactly.
Sometimes those weapons end up in white supremacists' hands.
They see them. They're closer to white than like the Palestinians, so it's like
exactly.
And also they use them as like an example of like an ethno state.
Exactly.
Man, movie news is fun, yo.
Yeah, it is.
I'm having so much fun.
So moving on to other things that are fun. Pedro Pascal, the star in The Last of Us HBO series, he's going to be playing Joel.
I cast the
I thought it was a little weird, but I was also like, he's a good actor, so like,
Did they cast the one kid from Game of Thrones too?
The girl that played Lyanna.
I can't remember.
She's only not in the rundown because I wanted to keep it short, but she was cast as Ellie. And
it's like they're both good actors, so fine. This would have been my first choices, but
making Joel not a white dude is actually really interesting.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on your definition of white nowadays, but I'm saying that to play devil's advocate. I have a real question.
Sorry. No, go ahead.
Well, my question is like, isn't the two Last of Us games like the most cinematic video games like kind of ever made?
Yes.
That's so why do we need this?
Yeah, my issue was like they could have had a show set in the universe of Last of Us with different characters. Would have been cool.
I just the one thing I wanted to bring up real quick was I remember for like a hot minute before Pedro Pascal was confirmed, wasn't Mahershala Ali?
Yes, and I was like,
potentially,
that was a rumor.
Yeah,
they offered it.
I would have taken that over Pedro Pascal.
Yeah, I like Pedro Pascal, but like if that was the case, like
I guess it came down to the actors, and it was Mahershala turned it down, and Pedro, and they're both on HBO's shortlist because HBO likes to do that. They like to keep people that they've worked with before around.
They're also connected to big Disney properties right now too.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's a Sony.
I feel like though I still kind of wish they would have. They didn't have to do like Joel and Ellie again because like those games are solid. Just the same universe. Like they could be connected to like, things in the game, but like the same lore but have different characters.
I mean, I've never played the games, but I mean it's a post-apocalypse. Like there's more people than just these two main characters. Like you could have Joel and Ellie like mentioned or even show up briefly. But like tell a different story. Like you've got this world in front of you that has not been strip-mined yet. So do something interesting.
I feel like even though it wasn't that great of a movie, like the Assassin's Creed movie, like it wasn't that good because like so they focused too much on the modern day stuff. But there were still good elements about the movie. But my point is I liked how they tried to like they didn't try to like adapt any of the games. They made a unique character and unique story just set in the universe of Assassin's Creed, which was a good idea, even though like it didn't pan out well. But
unfortunately, certain fans of video games are going to be like, I want to see what I played on screen because that will be awesome. Not realizing.
Just watch a YouTube video of all the cutscenes.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like as like these adaptations come out, I've kind of realized like I don't want to see the main story. I kind of just want to see like do something different if you have to make them.
Yeah. Use the same lore and the same like aesthetics, but
like look at fucking Sonic. Like that's not the story of Sonic the Hedgehog. It's just a fun little movie that you could.
They didn't like adapt a specific game, right?
Yeah.
And, I mean, even to go a little bit wider, like look at every single one of the Marvel movies. Like, yes, they have a name that is after a storyline,
and they adapt story beats.
Yeah, but they do their own thing in it, and that's the way
Sometimes
to do it.
they improve on it.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
Yes,
like,
they do.
I would say in many ways, Civil War is probably an improvement on the
it's more
concept
streamlined
of the book.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, it makes like what also the two main characters do and their reasons make way more sense than the comic.
Yeah, definitely.
I did want to touch on something like you guys have said, like when it comes to this, is like, and maybe it's just me, but like I kind of don't really give a shit about post-apocalyptic zombie kind of thing.
I don't either.
I think we're all a little bit tired of it. Yeah.
Like,
I mean, if it's done well, cool, or if you're doing something interesting, but
right.
I feel like the Last of Us games, they do the reason why they're good is not because of that. Like, that's more background too. Like, it's a lot more of the human stuff is kind of like the focus, even though like there's some infected stuff in there. But
I'm not a huge Last of Us fan, but like the things that those games do really well is like these things are in the background, but what's more important is what these characters are doing.
Well, isn't there like 2 shows about that already on AMC?
Well, yeah. Honestly, I feel like
you don't speak.
Despite how we feel about it, The Walking Dead is still a really fucking popular show. So it's like people are still gonna watch.
I mean, I've watched a total of an episode. So
I mean, the super cynical.
Oh, aren't you cool?
Is HBO almost had The Walking Dead 10 years ago. It was under them, and this is them 10 years later being like, fuck. And they're like, well, this could be another Walking Dead. Let's pull the trigger. Let's go for it.
Yeah, but
like despite how you feel about Walking Dead, it had so many seasons of it, so it's like still kind of a hit.
Well,
you know?
That's the thing though. If HBO would have gotten The Walking Dead, not to go down this rabbit hole too much, but I don't think they would have driven it into the ground. I think they would have.
No, but of course.
They also wouldn't have alienated the creator of the series.
What you mean by paying him his money?
I mean Kirkman like left the show after whatever season it was, and like apparently was involved in a lawsuit with them because they owed him money.
No, it was Frank Darabont too.
Well, him and every showrunner of all of like all the AMC shows basically at some point. The guy who was working on a Gunslinger. He was also involved with that.
Shit, I can't remember his name. I listened to that episode of Kingcast where they talked to him about that. Mazzara?
Mazzara, I think. Glenn Mazzara?
I think so.
He show ran season 3, which from the seasons of Walking Dead that I watched, that was my favorite personally. So
Breaking Bad almost didn't show on AMC for its last season because they were they were so in love with Mad Men at the time. Like they were short shrifting everybody else. And I can't remember his name. It slipped my head right now. But like he was like, I'm gonna take Breaking Bad someplace else. And they're like, wait. Yeah, Vince Gilligan. Thank you. Wow. Yeah, he was originally gonna go to HBO, I think, with it.
That makes sense. Yeah, because ended up on Netflix did.
Yep.
Yeah, there was a kind of a delay with the last season of Breaking Bad. People were kind of like, hey, why is it taking so long?
Yeah.
And eventually, did come out, but it's like, it was like,
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense with that. But let's move on to things that are much cooler, and I'm actually much more excited about. What were you going to say?
I just want to say one thing. I didn't care about this until they made this casting decision, specifically Pedro.
Yeah.
Bella Ramsey, whatever.
She's a good actor.
Cool. I'm glad she's getting a job. Pedro Pascal is immediately like, oh, I'm gonna watch this now. I'm gonna watch at least the pilot of this, maybe even the first season, because I did not care. So I'm curious to see how he does with this. He'll do great because
you know why he's so good.
What?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say
no, go ahead.
The testament to why he's so a fucking good actor in the Mandalorian, like we know what the fuck Pedro Pascal looks like. Yeah. But even every time we took the helmet off, we're like, we're still like, oh shit! It's like what he looks like.
He does have one of those.
He's still like compelling of an actor.
Where it's like every time he comes on screen, it's like, oh, I remember that I really find you charming and interesting to look at now.
Yeah, he's really like charismatic.
Yeah, he's one of the only reasons I watched all of Wonder Woman 84. Speaking of comic book stuff that I'm very excited about, fucking Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer.
Oh my god, dude! I like the humor, but it's also like there's like some intrigue and mystery there that you can tell. It's like
Can't wait to see that character.
Listen, WandaVision is not even done yet, and I fucking love WandaVision more than I expected.
Yes.
I don't want to. We're not gonna spoil. Let's not spoil anything, but like the show is very good. It does unique shit.
It's fantastic.
Yes. Like WandaVision, like I went in knowing what the premise was, and I'm like, okay, I'm interested in this. And it has blown away every expectation I had for what that show was going to be.
One mindless spoiler: the last episode, they reference Kick-Ass because
yes,
both actors who play Quicksilver, were in Kick-Ass, and the character Quicksilver says the word Kick-Ass.
I didn't even realize that. Yeah, they were.
She's like Kick-Ass, and she pauses for a minute, and it's like, wow, they even referenced that. Come on.
Yeah, that was great. Well,
that's a Marvel thing, isn't it? Doesn't Kick-Ass own that?
Technically, Icon is
is a Marvel imprint.
It's just a funny, like, you wouldn't expect that, like, to be referenced in anything.
No, I wouldn't.
Yeah, but
it's a show that learned a lot from, I think, Legion, which is interesting.
Yes. Well, every episode, I'm like, oh, you guys are just like, Legion exists. Let's do that, but like a little bit more cleaned up, a little bit less weird in some.
A little bit less acidy.
A lot more. Money is what it is.
More money, less Bollywood dancing. More Bollywood dancing in season 2, please.
But which I would say, like, it does, like, what happens in that show, I think is going to play, especially with one of the characters, into Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Of course,
my opinion. I can see that.
And like what the world looks like, especially what we got in the last episode of his description. And I think it makes a lot of sense of why I always forget, because I don't really give a fuck about the character. What is U.S. agent's name? Something Walker?
John something Walker? John Walker?
John Walker. Yeah, like
Kurt
his
Russell Jr.
existence in this show makes a lot more sense to me now. And like what this world looks like.
That's the thing. Like I had read a rumor, mind you, there's a billion different rumors every day about different things that might or might not be in these shows. But something that I was like, that could make sense was that there's a rumor that Omega Red is going to be in Falcon Winter Soldier.
Can I point out one thing? Okay, so in Falcon and Winter Soldier, you see them, there's some scenes of, it's a trailer, so there's a lot of quick scenes. There's some scenes of them in a city, also with Zemo, who's like walking with them. So they kind of like work together with Zemo for a while, which is weird. But I'm curious about why. But also, like, they're in the city that's probably Madripoor, because there's a leaked photo of and Madripoor is a prominent X-Men thing. And
it's a very Wolverine thing.
Hold on.
Here's one of my like fantasy/theories. I feel like because there's in the comics like Wolverine, lays low as a guy named Patch. I feel like what if somebody like what if Falcon and Winter Soldier, like, somebody tells them you got to meet someone named Patch in this bar, right? And they go to meet Patch, and it's like it's Wolverine wearing an eye patch as the bartender, but it's like Laura Kinney Wolverine. I would love to see like adult X-23.
That would be. See, like, I still think if it was still Guy Wolverine and Bucky's like, oh shit, I remember this guy, and like, and because like there are books where like Bucky and Wolverine in World War II were part of a secret ops team.
Yeah, what if it was like?
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah.
What if it's like that scene? I can't remember which X-Men movie it is, but when Magneto and
First Class.
Oh, it's First Class.
Fuck off, Jackman. Fuck off.
Yeah, they get their one fuck in that movie.
Lou watched it the most recently of all of us. Isn't Cap in the background of Origins? Isn't there a shield in the background?
I don't remember that.
In the World War II sort of opening.
You can see
and you can see Cap's shield way in the background of them storming.
I gotta look that up. I've never heard about that.
Yeah, it's a thing that is there because there were still
I kind of like that though.
Marvel
That's
geeks
cool.
working on those movies. I mean, the trailer looks good. I've been saying it for months now. It's a fucking like 80s buddy cop movie, but with Winter Soldier and Falcon, and I can't.
Also, my brain's running on fucking 100 with it. Like the Marvel, I was already like the MCU movies, but this like shit got me fucking way more excited. What if like the Punisher shows up in like Falcon Winter Soldier or War Machine movie? Show?
That's the thing. Like I know
John Bernthal.
Which was
I don't think John can yet.
I don't think yet. But the thing is, they have to wait It was 2 years. I know Daredevil is out of that. And
But Punisher came out like, was it before Jessica Jones or after? It was like way late though. It
Punisher was the last. Punisher was like the latest one of those shows.
No, Jessica Jones was.
Well, yeah.
I can't. Yeah, I couldn't remember for sure.
Punisher was like the fourth. Was the fourth like show that like became a thing.
Yeah.
They were
And Arlen, unfortunately,
it was
seems
February 2018.
Apparently, that was an April Fool's joke that Cap appeared anywhere in Wolverine Origins.
Oh,
that?
Oh,
so
actually,
it's one of those things that's just.
So we just passed the 2-year mark for Punisher.
Okay, I wasn't sure if it was
February 18th, 2019.
I can't imagine John Bernthal would.
But here's the thing: this show was supposed to come out last August. That's what makes me think that he's maybe not in it. That's not to dispel.
They have time
quickly.
to cut and re-put things in.
That's true.
But that was the thing. Like when the show was originally supposed to be coming out, I can remember interviews with Sebastian Stan saying like, yeah, no, we want to get it out, but we can't finish some of the filming because they had stuff the COVID hit and they were doing stuff in Prague, I think. And it just, everything was clamped down. So they just had to wait. So they must have either gone to a different set to do some of this or a different country, or they used some of the amazing fucking Mandalorian technology that they were doing for that show to film some of it.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that, I mean, I can't imagine it will be bad, but I'm hoping that it's as much of a left turn from what we're expecting as WandaVision has been. Because this is the place for Marvel to be like, all right, we're going to fuck with you people because we're not just going to keep giving you exactly what you're expecting. Like, we are going to do things that are somewhat subversive and just not at all what you would want, or not want, but not what you would expect out of anything coming from the MCU. And I'm here.
Yeah, they're embracing weird out there shit now.
Yeah, I can see this one being a little bit more closer to mainline, because I think that it seems
I think it's
to
the
me
characters.
Yeah, and also like it's the fact that this is coming out next after WandaVision, but then the one immediately after is Loki,
which is crazy. It's gonna be
fucking insane. So,
well, if I would put money on it, I bet Falcon Winter Soldier is like very old school Mission Impossible TV show kind of a thing.
Well, they said it's going to be the same like vein and feel of the Winter Soldier movie.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to be.
He's going to continue that espionage kind of like, you know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Which is what the Mission Impossible show was.
Yeah.
So I think it's going to be very. There's going to be probably like one or two little things like for an episode or two, but then there's going to be like a big story arc thing that we're going to have.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting to see what other things get included. So we got like Sword in WandaVision. Do they bring back AIM? Do we bring back any other organizations that we kind of?
Well, and that's the thing. Like going into WandaVision, we're all like, "Oh, this looks like it's Wanda controlling everything," but we don't know that at this point.
Yeah, because there's contradictions where people are not sure. Like Wanda says, like, "I don't even know. Like, I'm not. You think I'm in control of all this?" And then it's like,
Yeah, and that's where I'm wondering if like Zemo he's going to be a villain, but I'm wondering if it's a misdirect that he's not going to be our big bad for the show. Like, I mean, I think it's going to end up
there's multiple villains they're going to be.
But I also think Wyatt Russell is going to end up being the main bad guy. Honestly,
I feel like the reason why in the trailer, if you see Bucky and Falcon are walking with Zemo, like they're not like they're kind of not hostile to him. So temporarily, they're probably allies because they're all against John Walker because he probably does some fucked up shit as Captain America, and like Zemo doesn't like the heroes. Like his family died because of the heroes being unchecked.
They're probably turning Walker into what was it like Nuke? Was that the one that was the crazy cab, or was there
Nuke?
Yeah.
Assuming
John Walker's already similar. John Walker's already a similar thing. He's already a U.S. agent who's a fucked up.
Well, he wasn't like insane though. He was just a shit.
If they're gonna do something very recent and pull from it, which I really hope they don't, they might pull some stuff from Hydra Cap, which again, not a fan of.
Maybe.
Well, there's a lot of rumors. So like the woman with the mask thing, there are rumors that she's Red Skull's daughter.
She's Flag Smasher.
Yeah.
So Flag Smasher was one guy, but they made it like a group in this show, and she's like a female leader of that. So she's kind of like the Flag Smasher from the comics, like turned but different instead of like a guy wearing a cape. She's
the time frame wouldn't work for her to be Red Skull's daughter.
Well, like, except if you procreate after getting a super soldier serum, who knows how you really age?
That's true, but
I don't think she's like.
I mean,
because in the comics he had the
but he was also hundreds of years old at that point.
He was fucking though. He was fucking.
Yeah. I feel like they don't need to do anything with Red Skull or his spawn because the whole point of Hydra is that cut off one head, another goes to place. So Red Skull's already in space, being guardian of Vormir. He's already like done with Hydra because he's just like an entity now. But like Hydra can move on from him and like have other fucking shitty leaders, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, she was a big character like not too long ago.
Yeah,
and her name was Sin.
Yep. I remember that.
I mean,
and she was dating Crossbones. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, the idea that glasses
I don't work like that no more.
I don't work like that.
I got shotgun arms.
The idea that a computer dude was like trying to clone Red Skull,
Zola,
like that checks out. Like he would have been doing a bunch of different stuff, like trying to recreate all kinds of things.
That's something I'm never gonna see, but I would love to see like the somewhat comic accurate version of Armin Zola show up in
where he's
Falcon
the
Winter
body
Soldier
with the TV head.
Yes.
I mean, they kind of.
Hey,
no, they did not do it the way they do in the comics.
Eric, what were they referencing though? What else were they trying to evoke?
No,
I raised comic accurate MODOK.
Yes,
that's not too crazy.
No, I don't think it is.
Hey, they gave it to us in the Avengers.
Comic accurate
MODOK
at this point is like, that's not that crazy at this point.
There is an interesting so Sin was a big character along with Zemo in like a big storyline that surrounded Thor not too long ago, Fear itself. So
yeah, but they've already pivoted Thor to be a cosmic thing now. Like he's not going to be dealing with terrestrial stuff at all. And as we've read from multiple sources, like Marvel's plan is to kind of have different layers of their universe where there's cosmic, there's earthbound, and then there's whatever the other thing is.
You can kind of feel that in WandaVision, where it's like this is like something completely different.
And Sword is like an in-between thing. Yeah, because like Sword in the comics is like Shield of Space.
Yeah.
Oh, can I put two things?
Comparison in one of the chats. Sword feels like FBC from Control. They feel very much like Control Division, just a little bit less.
I can kind of see that
because if you notice how Sword in the comics it's sentient world something whatever, and the show is sentient weapon, and it's like
but they have said that they are building a space thing. Like, or they are astronauts. Like, they are space-based.
I think that was just a nod, though, so people like you will get a boner on Lou. So,
don't talk about my boners.
Can I point out something else?
Yeah.
So this is probably not like it might not be true, but it's an interesting theory. There's like some Nerdist video. They're saying that okay, I do kind of have to spoil some WandaVision, so if somebody's listening.
I might have seen the same video, so I'm curious.
But in one recent episode of WandaVision, like revealed that like Wanda like went to Sword headquarters and stole the body of Vision that they were like dissecting, and like maybe Sword's gonna make Sentinels with what they learned from Vision's body. That's a cool theory. It might not be true, but
Arlen, you talked about that in one of the chats. I was like, Sentinels is kind of a stretch. That's where like I brought up Adaptoids. I think make more sense.
Yeah.
But they can do X-Men shit now, so why not Sentinels?
Yeah,
because mutants don't exist yet. So
yes, they do.
But
yes and no, because there's a mutant. Spoilers. There's a mutant that's fucking literally in the show now.
Well, she's a mutate.
Maybe
mutate.
We don't know. Yeah.
No, I'm talking about Quicksilver.
Here's the thing, though.
Yeah.
Oh well. Technically, in the comics, they're not mutants either.
Oh crap!
Hey, listen, he's the Quicksilver. He's the Quicksilver from the fucking X-Men universe, this multiverse.
But we don't know. But we don't know the providence of that. Yet.
Okay, but my point is, I feel like
Quicksilver.
I feel like the reason that they chose that actor and that character from because they're basically letting us know that hey, we're ready to. The X-Men.
I think it's that we're ready, but like
it's certainly them priming us.
Anymore? Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Aaron Taylor, no,
he was in Tenet, which is a great movie. I love Tenet.
Yes.
Well, yeah, he's in Tenet, and he's fucking his 50-year-old wife. So yeah, he's very happy.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I think this, whatever. Since we're going to talk a little bit about WandaVision here, I think this last episode showed that the whole reason they chose that actor to represent Quicksilver is because of the time period that we last saw Quicksilver in a movie in.
Yeah,
because
but
he is. No, I understand what you're saying. Is I totally
deliberately like letting us know, like, hey, listen.
Yes,
you know who he's from, and it's not a secret no more.
They're pushing us in a direction. They want us to think about a certain thing.
That's why I wouldn't be surprised if there's very slight mutant things that pop up in each of these Marvel shows going forward. That's why like I really give some credence to the idea that Omega Red could potentially show up, because
they're gonna start bringing X-Men into this thing. I don't know how fast, but they're gonna start doing it.
Well, what they're so far they've done is like X-Men adjacent, because like Omega Red isn't a mutant, but he's like he's a Wolverine villain. Sword is a very X-Men organization.
Yep.
As well.
So here's the thing about that, Isaiah, is this is my crazy theory that I've been saying for the past couple of days, is that she's going to do a reverse House of M where she
that's a big rumor everyone's been talking about.
Yeah.
It'll be interesting.
Go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead, Arlen.
I was gonna say I think she's gonna expand the hex to the entire Earth. Eventually.
Yeah, I think what's gonna happen is something's gonna go wrong, and like it's not that she's going to purposely expand the hex, but the energies from the hex are going to go worldwide.
Yes. I feel like her, even if it does expand, it's already altered.
It's in a
time space, like reality. Yeah, even though it's just like not covering the whole Earth, it's still affecting other dimensions and bringing in things.
I could see it being that the reason that I don't think they're gonna do X genes, because I think X genes are just dumb at this point.
I don't think it's dumb.
You're dumb. Shut up. You're dumb.
I'm dumb. But here's the thing: what happened 5 years ago in Marvel continuity that is a perfect explanation.
Exactly.
So you can have it be that the snap. Some people came back from the snap with something a little extra, and the hex
they do just imply that Monica Rambeau's going to get her powers.
Activates it.
Yeah,
sort of.
Well,
because what is?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
Because Monica came back from the snap, and now she is maybe developing powers. So,
well, no, they say this because her going through the hex twice that altered her DNA.
But they might be connected. This is what I'm saying.
You're right.
Well, so I'm saying that in the future, everybody who's going to be a mutant, in quotes, they will be survivors of the snap. People who are not born mutants, who are not the children of other mutants.
That'd be cool.
I wouldn't be shocked, because it's a way to do a lot of the things we've been theorizing for over 2 years now, but also do something completely different that we're not seeing coming.
That's true.
Falcon get his powers of communicating with birds.
That's true.
Yeah, it's a great way to retcon some characters and give them things that are from the comics. Yeah, perfect.
I will say I would really not like them to not be like specifically mutants and not have the X gene. That would like.
I'm just saying my understanding of the X gene as it has existed for a little while. It doesn't seem to really make all that much sense in terms of.
You can pass it down. You don't have to like have it active in you. Yeah. You can have the gene and not be a mutant, but you can pass it down and your kid can be a mutant.
I'm just saying that they could give it a more modern explanation that makes a little bit more sense.
No, I want them to embrace it. They're already not afraid to embrace comic book shit now. You know?
Yeah, but here's the thing: even though that's the case, the MCU they try. They really try to give things some kind of explanation that makes sense.
Wanda is literal like block of vibranium. So
right. Yeah. Well, here's the thing, though. Within the rules of their universe that they've established, we know that the stones are a thing that break all the rules. They just do. Yes. The stones.
Well, no, I don't think they break the rules. They control the rules.
Yeah, they can. Yeah. which gives them the ability to say, no, this is how it works now. Now AI exists because we're going to copy the intelligence of one of the stones. So now there's a super killing robot with super intelligence because of the stones.
Two things I wanted to bring up real quick about WandaVision. One, I'm no longer on the Mephisto train. I'm 100% on the Nightmare train. Is the big baddie, and I think
some sort of entity.
I think Agnes is going to be Nightmare. I think it's what's going to be the big reveal, because it's.
I feel like she's probably just Agatha Harkness, like everybody thinks, but
I don't think she's.
I'm not on the Agatha thing.
After watching the last episode, I do not think that at all.
No,
yeah.
I think it's going to be Nightmare. The other thing I wanted to bring up real quick was that I'm wondering if, based on the trailers that we've seen for WandaVision, like the stuff coming up, you see the Mind Stone exploding, which could either be that's actually how it happens, or they were playing it reverse. Regardless, I'm wondering if Scarlet Witch possibly pulled a stone from another universe.
Maybe.
Could be.
And then maybe they'll merge those universes,
and that's how it's going to be the Multiverse of Madness connection with Doctor Strange, who's going to be the eventual cameo in the show.
He will be a cameo in the show.
Yes.
Because she's in his movie also.
Yes.
But it's a very. I mean, we talked about it again in a chat. If the post-credit scene isn't Wanda at Bleecker Street, I will be very shocked. Unless certain circumstances happen before.
Or
then.
It could be Monica at Bleecker Street.
Mm-hmm.
It could be that as well.
You know what my guess is? So maybe because the comics, things happen with the kids multiple times where like they either get taken or they were part of Mephisto's body, whatever.
So they become somebody's arms.
Yes.
Yeah. Let's say her kids disappear or get taken. The after credit scene is her going to Doctor Strange for help, but then he's trying to explain to her like things are not that easy, and
I can see that.
But she wants her kids back.
I did want to go back to what Arlen was saying. I think my problem with like them changing mutants that way is like every character we've seen in the MCU so far that's Earth, like an Earthling, a human. They have gotten their powers from something. They're not born with them.
I'm not.
And that is the
that's what makes the X-Men different.
I'm not saying that they don't have an explanation. I'm saying just an updated explanation, a little bit more detail.
I think that takes away from what the X-Men represent.
The X-Men represent just like, hey, you're just born the way you are, and people oppress you for it, like if you're gay or black or whatever. Yeah, and it's kind of like that's the allegory for X-Men, is that like oppress people that have no choice in the matter. They're just like born the way they are.
Yeah, and changing it to an outside force doing it takes that away.
Yeah.
Sure, I guess. Yeah.
No, I mean,
I see what you're saying, but I feel like for the X-Men, that's one specific thing that needs to be part of the lore.
Yeah, I mean, their whole thing is like they're the children of the atom. They're evolution. Like you can't have evolution if it's created by an outside force. Because
that's the whole reason why people hate them, because it's like, oh, they're fucking freaks because they're born this way. But it's
I'm not saying it needs to be an outside force. Like it still can be a thing that they have. I'm not. Yeah.
But I mean, I think the big argument here is that you're saying it's because of the snap and based on what makes the X-Men, and what makes their story important for what they are.
It's just a genetic thing. Yeah.
They are born this way, and they had no choice in the matter. Not that they had any choice in the snap, but the snap kind of lessens the impact of the allegory to it being about racism and sexism.
I think there's homophobia. Yeah, there's a way to use the snap where like the radiation or whatever caused an evolution in humanity, but having like adults changeover is like different.
So here's the thing: I'm not saying the snap gave them the X gene. I want to be very clear about that. I'm saying the snap might have. The snap can correlate. Yes.
I feel like more like Wanda can merge a universe where X-Men exist, where mutants exist, and with the.
I would prefer that as well. I would much prefer that. I've been saying just give them their own universe.
Well, aren't
the X-Men are interesting enough?
The X gene like a thing from the Eternals? Like something made them.
So there's a million retcons. So it's hard to pin down.
there is like a way to do this that kind of makes it make sense.
Right.
Like, say the snap happens, and then Marva act like whatever.
I'm just
Wanda fucking activates the X gene with the hex, and then the Eternals are responsible for the X gene being.
I feel like though we're overthinking because I feel like they're already telling us how they're going to do it. Because okay, so through Wanda's trauma, she's like doing some of this stuff with the hex thing, right? I feel like through her trauma, she like didn't want to accept that her brother's dead. Like there's a fantasy world, like, hey, my brother can be alive, so she brings in her brother, but also like accidentally bringing him from another universe. It's gonna slowly merge those universes because he's not from our universe. So she did it by accident, but it's like through her trauma, she's merging. They're gonna start slowly merging, you know.
They could do that, yeah. I don't think there's any reason that they couldn't do that.
Yeah, I feel like that's what they might be doing, but I could be wrong. I'm just saying.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's just to not go into like a 2.5 hour argument about this.
Yeah,
that's what's making these shows so good. Is that we're excited and we're. Mind you, we're all friends here, so we're having a friendly argument about it. But
Civil War, me and Arlen. She was a side hunter.
God damn it. But yeah, it's
like
so,
Thor, I'm off world.
It's so refreshing to be excited again about this stuff.
Yeah.
We haven't had it in a while. And that's
Hunter, you're not Thor, you're an ice giant. Come on.
You're
tall, you're tall and white.
I'm a giant man.
Yeah.
But that shows the strength of everything they're doing. And I know we're wildly off base from Falcon and Winter Soldier, but Falcon and Winter Soldier, we're all here for it. We have a general idea of what it's going to be. It's going to be great. But
I mean, this is what we do all the time. It's nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
we go off on. I think whatever they do, like I don't care. I really don't care what they really do.
I'm going to enjoy
because
it.
I've gotten to the point where it's like I want to be surprised. Yep. I was not sad when the Soul Stone wasn't under Wakanda. Because if the Soul Stone was under Wakanda, how many things do we not get that we have gotten that are fucking amazing? Well, we don't get Gamora dying.
I am kind of disappointed that the Soul Stone was not Kendrick Lamar. A little.
Well, and let's be honest. Like Soulstone being in Wakanda would be kind of low key racist. So let's.
I got soul.
It's like low-key being like.
Yeah, Arlen.
Hey, how dare you?
I don't think it's that.
How dare you?
Yeah. I don't think it's that racist unless you like
see color.
Yeah.
Wow, Lou, you put that evil on me. You put that horror on me.
Yeah, Arlen's all right.
Your irises are transparent. You just see shapes.
Arlen's one of the good ones, all right?
Is that the title?
The rest of your whiteys, I don't know.
I think that is the title of the episode. Arlen's one of the good ones.
All right. On the topic of Wakanda.
Yes. Good. No, nice segue. I'll pull a Lou here and tell you how good that segue was. The Ryan Coogler signing the exclusive deal with Disney for the not just the Wakanda TV show, but also it's a larger thing than that, which I think is fucking rad. Like, because it's not just him. I thought, wasn't it his sister involved?
Yeah, it's his sister. It's his sister. It's his whole company.
Yeah, but his sister, Sev Ohanan, Ludwig is in there. Good props to Ludwig.
Yeah.
Archie Davis and Peter Nix.
Yeah. It's a huge win for him, and I mean it makes sense for Disney / Marvel to be like, yes, please come over here with all of your good ideas.
Well, so especially after
how well Black Panther did.
And also with Tina Wright getting very close to being Gina Carano. Yeah. I wonder how much her PR people are sending her these things like, hey, here's this. Hey, do you want to read this? I don't think they're going to hire you over there.
She gracefully, to an extent, at least bowed out of that potential firestorm of bullshit. Yeah. So good on her, not on her opinions, but good on her for being like, all right, cool, I'm done. But yeah, I'm really interested in what this could be, because there's a ton of really interesting stories you could tell that take place in Wakanda, and they don't have to be contemporary. They can be stuff that's
with
from
Black
when.
Panther.
Yeah, there's a whole like country there
T'Chaka.
and this whole city, and it's like
Could they
Exactly.
do a flashback to Cap working with a Black Panther in like World War II and doing like a version of the Champions? Is that what they were called?
the fact that there's like there's Wakandan spies in other countries. It's a cool setup for anything. You can have movies about these Wakandan spies that are compelling, you know.
Yeah, exactly. And once again, you can do any period in American history and have like, oh well, this is a viewpoint of a Wakandan spy or whatever, or even just like the civil wars that went on in Wakanda, at least from what I remember in the comics.
Yeah.
Like, is Arthur Morgan gonna go to Wakanda? Is that what you're saying?
Is who gonna go?
Arthur Morgan.
Arthur Morgan.
yeah.
What's
this vibranium anyway?
What is vibranium? I looked up. It's invaders.
Are we going to see T'Chaka fighting Buona Beast at some point? Like,
I guess my setup was like, oh, maybe we could see like T'Chaka's father with Cap and the original Human Torch, and maybe Namor.
Whatever, if you want, yeah.
Because Universal still owns Namor, and
I believe he's under the same lock as the Hulk, so they could do him in a somebody else's thing, but not their own.
Yeah.
Which is also why I'm like, I wouldn't be surprised if post Captain Winter Soldier, to circle back to that, if we eventually get to a Red Hulk, because that's a good workaround.
They're already doing She-Hulk.
I really want a Thunderbolts movie, and I hope we get it eventually.
You don't want to see giant red Thunderbolt Ross played by
I do want to see that though.
William Hurt.
My thing,
you want to see him transform and lose his mustache in the transformation as he turns giant red.
My thing at this point is that I know like a lot of the things that you bring up, Lou, are very heavily comic influenced.
Oh, I'm mostly joking.
Yeah, I know, and it's just I kind of don't want to see that. I kind of want them to continue to do what they've been doing, where they're like taking bits and pieces from runs and being like, all right, but how can we add this to an original story?
Well, with Zemo being still alive, they can totally still do Thunderbolts and shit.
They could. They could.
Or the other thing I was thinking when I joked about Red Hulk is like the Dark Avengers thing, where it's like the government-sponsored team.
Yes. Yeah,
and like they could like, oh, we have our own Hulk, and like Thunderbolt makes himself a Hulk.
Well, and they could,
or someone else.
Going back to Falcon Winter Soldier, that could be something that they're kind of hinting at with
Omega
what potentially. Red. Well, not even Omega Red. That could be potentially what ends up happening with Wyatt Russell with
John Walker.
Batrock's still alive too, so it's like they have people that can grab.
Yeah, well, Omega Red would be interesting and again, because they pull so much from they have from the Ultimate Universe. Mm-hmm. There was, I don't remember, is it Ultimate 2, where it's like the world, the non like ally countries make their own Ultimates, and it's like it's like, you know, like the Russia is trying to make their own Avengers team.
Yep.
And what we see from stuff with Black Widow is like, it seems like that's something that they've been trying to do at some point during their history. And Omega Red could be an interesting aspect of that as well. Especially considering like with all this Cap stuff, like doing another Cap, it's like Cap is connected in the comics to go back to the mutant stuff with what created Wolverine.
Yeah, Weapon X
program created Omega. Yeah. The Department H, because Marvel Canada is the most evil country in the world.
Yeah. I mean, I had a thought, but I didn't. No. I mean, to go on the Omega Red thing, it might be that Omega Red is the still surviving super soldier in Sokovia after the fall of the Soviets, where it's the way that the Soviet countries all dispersed and became their own little things. Well, you get this super soldier and you get this super soldier.
Well, that's somebody that survived Zemo shooting the tank people in the head.
Yeah, I could see that. Or I mean, it could just easily be also he's just a survivor of the USSR that was kept in a deep
freeze like Bucky.
Yeah, exactly. Like, because I think if mind you, I don't know how much truth that rumor is based on, but if that is the case, like it would make sense for the Russians to have been like, oh shit, the Americans have a super soldier, let's keep going. How do we keep coming back to goddamn Omega Red?
Well, no, I think
he's interesting looking.
He's cool.
Yeah, he might just be in like one scene.
Well, because there's also like based on his power set, like you could also tie him into like even if he's newer. Oh, they took Whiplash was Russian.
Yep.
And he has very Whiplashy things because there's a picture that's floating around. I'll share it in the chat of like what people are saying is Omega Red in this.
Isn't Omega Red Whiplash's father?
Here's my problem with this.
Omega Red's just a guy in the comics. He's just like a no name.
So so this picture that you just sent us, Lou, that's a Photoshop.
I know that.
That is that is a Photoshop where they used Mickey Rourke as their starting as their base.
Dafoe's face?
It seems like Willem Dafoe's face.
This is a very good Photoshop, but they started from Whiplash from Iron Man 2, and they worked outwards because the stance and the way that he looks, it's too.
I don't know, could be legit. Just saying.
It feels like those fan trailers that somehow still get made.
I would say it looks better than this, and I can't remember which movie this is in.
Nothing good. If you're saying it looks better than this.
That is from Deadpool 2. That is from Deadpool 2.
I literally don't remember him existing in that movie.
He's in the background. He's not in like he's an Easter egg.
Right, because they do the prison thing, right?
Where they kill Black Tom.
Yeah, that's totally the Ultimates version of him because the original comic version, he was wearing a headband that had the Omega symbol.
Yeah,
yeah.
But regardless,
Isn't Omega like a thing that it's like a position almost? Because they end up making other reds. There's like Alpha Red.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I don't know. I don't know much about
nothing
about
red.
that.
I mean, who knows? I think one of the things I was trying to say is I think that rumor is probably based in something. It's not out of nowhere, but it might not actually be Omega Red that is in the show. It might just be something that connects to Omega Red. But anyways, they did also announce a Wakanda series, which I think is a really smart idea. I don't know if this is coming out before Black Panther 2. I think it would be
I feel like Black Panther 2 is like on infinite hiatus until they figure something out.
Well, they said so. The things they said, I don't fully understand what their direction is, but they said they're not going to recast Chadwick Boseman. So does it mean Black Panther's not going to be seen, or
I think they said just going to not talk about him? I don't think they're going to CG Chadwick. I think we're just not going to talk about him, and he's going to pass.
Disney has the means to resurrect him. That's what's going to happen.
So here's the thing: it depends on how much you want to buy into this or not. My theory has been that we will see somebody in the Black Panther suit doing something heroic and then dying in the course of doing that heroic thing. But it won't be Chadwick. It will be somebody else in the suit.
Stuntman. Yeah.
Right. See, I think they're going to have him. They'll just be like, oh, he's going to take over the political stuff after what ended, which I think you could write in there of how Black Panther ended and just not kill him. It's weird to say, like, I feel like that'd be too morbid.
Again, if this show comes out before, I would use the show to transition to,
or maybe they
like,
can
set up
use
what they're doing.
The endgame stuff of like the fact that he got snapped away, right? And then like he probably just came back. They probably had this series of debate like, hey, look, the Black Panther can't be guaranteed to be around because I just got snapped away like nothing. So like we have to change things up where like, I can still be the leader, but like the Black Panther doesn't have to be one person, you know.
And I also think it's like
see that
they're trying to also wait and see if what's her name doesn't fuck up again.
Fuck out,
Honestly, a lot of people said that we want M'Baku. Let him be Black Panther.
Yes.
We need a stocky big man Black Panther. We don't give a fuck.
Yes.
Yeah, I get that, but like she
people.
was Black Panther, and that would be such a big move to have her take over that role.
And I think they were heavily leaning towards that happening at some point. But once again, social media fucks everything up because people don't know how to keep their full mouth shut.
I mean, before she opened her mouth, I was very sure that in the situation where Sony is like, fuck all y'all, that she was going to be who they placed most of their stuff on. Like, I was fairly sure if they are doing Young Avengers, which I'm more sure now that they're doing than I ever have been, that she would be the lead of the team. I'm not as sure of that now.
Yeah.
My guess would have to be Miss Marvel is who they're thinking of now.
Yes.
Unless Letitia comes out with like a I'm sorry, I was wrong, blah 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 type thing.
I think she just kind of do something like that.
Yeah, it's more just like if she just shuts the hell up.
Yeah, right. Her apology consisted of something along the lines of like, I'm just trying to point out different views, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Like it was very much a like half-assed apology that was like PR.
I feel like just a little bit of time.
Say this.
Yeah, because like her stuff was mostly about the vaccine, right? And somebody she was retweeting had anti-trans stuff.
Yes.
She never actually said anti-trans stuff. And the anti-vaccine stuff is like very rooted. Right. Yeah. So
so England is actually, I guess, much worse with a lot of anti-trans stuff. Yeah. I mean, look at Miss Joan K. Rowling, for an example.
You mean the walking pile of shit? Yeah, that one.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, the person who made billions plagiarizing off of Star Wars, which is a plagiarism.
Yeah. Yeah. She wrote a novel about a man who dresses up as a woman in order to murder people, because she's a crazy person. So yeah, fuck her. Anyways, where the fuck are we? I would like them to use the show to transition us and not have the movie carry all that weight. I think it would be interesting. We'll see. We don't know what the show is going to be. It could be an anthology show where every episode takes place in a different decade, kind of like what Eric was saying. It could be a long-running series just about like day-to-day life in Wakanda and how that works.
Oh, it's Wakanda
which
C-SPAN.
would also be interesting. Wakanda, but
still be better than the real C-SPAN.
Wakanda by GameStop.
Oh God. No, I mean, I think Izza's point earlier was really great. That like with all of the different like Wakandan spies, for lack of a better term, that are all across the world, like there's potential for that to be a big part of it too, where you can go anywhere with it and pretty much any time period, because I mean Wakanda is supposed to have been this powerhouse of a country for secretly for thousands of years. And I mean, even that tracks with the comics too, that they have always been like this technological and just advanced powerhouse.
And they can also make it an anthology.
Exactly.
Like, one episode could be about someone who's just works in a fucking market in Wakanda and has some interesting story, and then like next episode could be like a spy in Russia.
Yeah.
Next
episode would be like someone. I really like the anthology idea, because
one could even be about how vibranium ended up there. Like about like the first Wakandans to find it. Like
I mean,
it's ripe for so many different things that could be so rad.
And there's a comics version of the first Black Panther now, and they don't have to follow that like the Bible, but they can certainly use aspects of that if they wanted to.
And if they wanted to, they could also pull Bucky in and show what he might have been doing while he was there. Yeah,
White Wolf.
Yep.
Yeah.
One that's like they could do like a show where it's like it's modern day, but then it flashes back to stuff that like makes like connects thematically.
I could see that. Yeah. And
they're black. It's actually kind of like very much like I can't remember what book it was, like an Iron Fist book. It's like there's a like you're following your main character, but then it flashes back to them learning about previous.
Yeah, that was the Brubaker Iron Fist. It was showing the different people who had the Iron Fist ability.
And that could be a very interesting show to be like, we don't know who the new Black Panther is, and they're reading about past Black Panthers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, moving moving away from this, the other big MCU black character, Blade. They have a writer confirmed for it, and it's Stacy Osei-Kuffour, I believe is her name.
She's Watchmen.
Yes.
Yeah. She wrote Watchmen. She wrote on Watchmen. She let's see. She's going to write something else. She also wrote on Pen 15, the Amazon show Hunters.
Great name.
Oh yeah, that's the other one. I forgot about Hunters. Yeah. I mean, I'm excited. There's going to be a Blade show, and
Is this a show or a movie?
Yes, it's a show.
Ooh,
yes,
I like that better.
And the fact that it's Ali playing him too. Like, I will watch anything that dude is in. Like he's
Dude, like I said, like I've watched, which I don't even know how they got him into that show, Rami. Like, I don't know why he's in that show, but he's fucking mesmerizing. And also he's like doing scenes, and it's like, oh, he's the last person on Earth I want to be angry, because he plays like quiet angry, which is very good play quality so well.
Yes. Like you can see in his eyes he wants to murder you. But
you saw in that first half of that first season of Luke Cage, like him as Cottonmouth is like, so good. And like I cannot wait to see this. Also, like he's a big dude, he'll look great, and I just want to see him. And it sucks that that's like what the second, and probably before the movie, the most famous Black Marvel character.
100%.
Yeah. No,
before Black Panther, he was probably the most famous Black character.
I don't remember if you were on but
maybe
like
Storm. Probably Storm is number one.
Storm for X-Men,
yeah. But like Wesley took over that character and made it much bigger than it was. At least. Like, and we talked about during the Blade movie. That movie doesn't work if it's anybody else. It just doesn't. It falls flat.
Well, his background, his look, his power at the time is why. Both those first two movies, but especially that first one, worked so well.
Yeah, because even him saying some of those lines only works if it's him saying it. Some people would have made it, like, you know.
Some motherfuckers always want to ice skate uphill.
Exactly. Like Wesley Snipes can pull that off.
Yeah, because Wesley Snipes is the smoothest fucking person ever.
Exactly.
Except when it comes to taxes.
But fuck taxes,
right? So I'm excited for this. Mahershala wanted the role. He asked for it.
He called them. They're like, no, we're not going to give anything to a 2-time Oscar Award winner for the character he wants to play.
He was like, I want to be Blade, and they're like, yeah,
sure. Which is something. It's something they were trying to work on, because remember, like years ago, like they took meetings with Wesley Snipes, and there were rumors for a long time that they wanted to do basically old man Blade training his daughter to be the new Hunter.
Oh no, please no.
Yeah,
does that mean they're completely disregarding the Sticky Fingers Blade TV show?
Yes.
Well, I think that was in continuity.
Which wasn't great, but also like wasn't completely terrible either. It was like
it wasn't that bad.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad. It had some good things about it.
Period.
I just needed an excuse to bring up Sticky Fingers.
Sticky Fingers is actually a good actor too, which is surprisingly.
Yeah, he is. He's actually not bad, but I need to bring up anything from Onyx at any given time.
That show is a weird trivia fact that exists.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
but I think the first live action show Spike had.
I think so. Yeah. But with Blade being a TV show, like, I'm really wondering what tone they go for with this. Like, I kind of hope they go super dark. Like,
I feel like the Marvel Netflix shows kind of like they were all dark in a lot of ways. Like Punisher, Luke Cage, and Jessica Jones, and Daredevil. They all got fucking. I didn't see Iron Fist because I heard it wasn't that great. But the other ones, they get really dark in tone. Like there's violence and there's like sex and grittiness. Like they can kind of use those tones of those kind of shows.
Well, and not just that, like if those are able to get folded back in because of the time stuff, there was stuff they set up in Daredevil and Defenders to vampires.
Yeah.
Okay, I just want to update something. Actually, the Collider article I'm seeing is actually saying film, which is interesting. I was under the impression this was
Yeah,
I'm
I thought
honestly
this
not
was
sure.
a show, but
I've always seen TV show.
okay, it's an easy assumption because this woman has mostly worked on television before this, so that's curious.
Huh. Could this be Marvel's first R-rated film?
I mean,
that's Deadpool technically.
so
Well,
yeah.
I'm
But
saying
it's-
current era MCU.
No,
Yeah.
they confirmed that Deadpool 3 is going to be rated R.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I think they
did-
also have
yeah.
confirmed that it's going to connect to the MCU in some way as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, no, he's officially part
yeah.
of the MCU now.
Yeah,
Got it, like-
Deadpool is gonna be
The future Deadpool stuff is MCU.
Yeah.
Huh.
Maybe we didn't get to that a couple weeks ago, but yeah, that was part of the story. Is that?
I think
Yeah,
I think it's a movie.
It is a movie. Yeah. Glider says
And-
it's a movie, which
And I would say, like, I think
yeah,
as much as I love long form media more, it makes more sense if you have Mahershala Ali to do a movie because he's
so
Well,
a
yeah.
movie star.
this is my guess. I think that they want to keep the television stuff for Disney Plus, which is the big reason I don't think now. I'm kind of convinced that they're not actually bringing the Netflix characters back. As much as I hate that,
I wish they would, but I don't think there's
anything
anything confirming that they are.
Yeah,
Well, there are heavy rumors that Charlie Cox was on the Spider-Man set.
Well, yeah, but we don't know.
I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's
Yeah.
the easiest one to fold in.
Yeah,
Him
'Cause
and
he is-
Barenthal.
there's
Man,
the
I want-
least.
yeah.
There's the least that you have to like fold in somehow, even though his show like took up so much of the space of that universe. You can kind of just bring him in and abandon a lot of the other stuff.
What did the shows do that would not let them be included? They didn't do
Literally
anything.
Literally
No,
nothing.
but it's a lot of like
They're just their
baggage
tone were a little
stuff,
darker.
and, like
Well, that's not a big deal based on what we're seeing in WandaVision.
right.
So my point is, I want them to bring back even Iron Fist, which is like the show sucked. I didn't watch it,
Right.
but like he was they used him pretty good in Luke Cage season 2 or 3 or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
I
holy
want
shit,
them
I
to
actually
bring
kind of
them
like this
all
character
back.
now, and I was like,
Yeah.
I kind of changed my mind a little bit.
The
On,
problem is like they
No,
did that show No Chance. They rushed it super fast, and like
Yeah.
what sucks is the setup at the end of that season is to like one of my favorite stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like
I want to be. Yeah, I just want to say.
even bring
I
him
want them
back,
to
but I
bring
feel like
them
I
all
want.
back. Yeah.
But I feel like
Yeah,
even if they made them a little, like bring them back to the actors and the characters, right? But even if they changed it, where like they fit the MCU tone a little more, where they're not as dark and gritty, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
Because there's still versions of those in the comics that are like more.
Well,
family-friendly.
I'm wondering.
I
if
just
they-
don't think that
if-
they are. I just don't.
if-
Yeah.
If they would bring them back, would they confirm that Luke Cage and Jessica Jones had anal sex?
Right.
Well,
Okay.
they had a hard.
Or
In
well, they
fucking Jessica
confirmed
Jones
the
episode 1, there's like
opposite.
a hard fucking scene with them. So.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean-
it's
Oh wait,
Here's the thing, if they-
Would I finally get my dragon?
Yes,
maybe.
yes,
Yeah.
You got the
Probably.
bones.
Yeah. I mean, I
Well,
think that
the comics
if they do bring them back, they're going to change a lot of things. Because like, I really want them to do the Jessica having a baby stuff. Like,
No, and Luke is such a
Like-
big character that like I
Yeah.
feel like he needs to be back.
Luke
Because
even
again,
led the
it's-
Avengers, you know?
Well,
Yeah, exactly.
it's also the problem to like in comics in general, but like the lack of diversity of like major heroes. And it's like
yeah,
we literally have talked about probably 3 of the top 5 biggest black heroes in comics, let
Yeah.
alone Marvel, in Luke Cage, Blade, and Black Panther.
Uh-huh.
I mean,
well, yeah, it's
yeah.
it's something you'd brought up in chat before, Lou, about like Blue Marvel. Like,
Yeah.
he's a
Yeah.
relatively new character within the Marvel universe, but they've aged, like they've given him this older,
They
this older
centured
black
him.
man. Yeah, and like
Yeah, he was alive during like JFK's time, and he like
Yeah.
saved
because
the
I
world,
was
and the
saying,
government
like,
saw
he
he was
would
black.
be-
Like, oh fuck.
Yeah, he's an
Yeah.
interesting character that like I could see them popping up in WandaVision.
yeah,
I feel like
just-
for Blue Marvel, they could do a Captain Marvel kind of thing, where it's like he existed before that we didn't know about. You know what I mean?
Yeah, my thought was like the person that Monica is talking about is Blue Marvel that she's contacting.
Okay. Honestly, that's fucking one of the best theories I heard because everybody assumes it's Reed Richards, which would be cool, but also Blue Marvel would be fucking like, well, holy fuck, like.
Yeah, and he could be someone that had worked with Sword or worked with whatever, but it's like, why not bring in like, especially we're talking about 2021, more diversity, like, and like all this stuff. It's like, here's a character, and it's the thing, like, I'm mixed race, like, is there a Hispanic character in the MCU?
There's very few.
Yeah, like White Tiger.
No, I mean like of the MCU.
Oh, you mean so far?
Oh, MCU. No,
I mean, is it just fucking God? How am I forgetting his fucking name?
Ant-Man's friend, right?
Louise? Is it
Louise?
Louise?
Yeah, but I mean like superhero characters.
No, like
he's not a superhero.
Yeah.
I wanted to make sure. Well, yeah, Lou. It just goes more to your point. Like he's not a superhero, and he has the Latino character, as far as I know.
Mantis, Mantis.
I would say that
Asian
like
character.
Yeah,
I could say
and she's space Asian, so it doesn't
say like Zoe Saldana and Dave Bautista are both Latino or Hispanic, but they play aliens.
They're also
they're not playing Hispanic.
They're also they're green.
Yeah,
so it's like,
I mean that's like saying Paul Bettany is playing British. It's like
gentlemen, don't all actors matter?
I'm gonna fucking murder you.
No, because have you seen Michael Madsen?
Pennsylvania.
Have you seen Michael Madsen?
Like the other rumor, I can't remember who said it in one of our chats. It's like, Amadeus Cho would be really fun too. To have
his mother. His mother in
I think
Ultron.
I said that. Yeah,
I think Arlen said that. I was like, oh yeah, we never picked up that thread.
But another theory I had was it could be Kang. Because why not?
Well, it's also, and that's a character who they cast a black actor for Ant-Man.
Right.
3.
Yeah.
Well, that was my logic. Was they've cast that person already, and they cast him around the time where it would have been a good time to film.
It's Jason Todd.
Yeah.
It's Jason Todd.
It is. Who's actually?
Which I was also surprised because they cast Riri too. So.
Yep.
I don't know. Anyways,
I think we're spiraling out now.
Yeah, we're spiraling out.
I'm into the Blade movie. If it is going to be a movie, I'm very into this.
Can I bring up a funny little anecdote that I like? So recently, I mean, it is kind of news thing. But recently, you know how Tom Holland is notoriously like fucked up a lot of leaking information.
Yeah.
So recently, I saw an interview and like you know the rumors of like Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield being in Spider-Man 3 or whatever. So someone asked him in an interview, and Tom Holland was like, "As far as I know, no, they're not in it." And then I saw recently, I saw another article saying apparently Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire have been seen filming scenes for Spider-Man 3. So it's like if they are in it, Tom Holland's just like, I'm just gonna be safe and just say they're not in
it. Or Marvel's just like, don't tell Tom.
What was not known was Kevin Feige behind Tom Holland with a gun.
He's like, listen,
Kevin's there to the side, but there's also snipers and Benedict Cumberbatch is there with a knife.
Benedict Cumberbatch is usually there to put him in a sleeper hold.
Benedict Cumberbatch has a tear in his eye. I didn't want to do it, kid, but they made me.
But he's Benedict Cumberbatch from the film Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy, where he looks very creepy. Anyways,
real quick on the Blade thing before we move on to extras, I guess, was that I did a little research while you guys were chatting about whatever, and I was just seeing nothing but Blade film. So it looks like it's going to be a film. And I'm kind of wondering if Marvel is angling for this to be their next big Black Panther, because I know Ali was the one who was pushing for getting a black writer for the show, and he was pushing for her specifically. So I could see this being something.
See, but we're also ignoring the real question here, and that is, will Jared Leto appear as Morbius in the Blade?
No, the real question is,
will there be a blood rave?
The real question, as posited by David S. Goyer, previous writer of the Blade films, is, will Hulk and She-Hulk fuck?
No, the cousins.
Well, there's
they only fuck in Old Man Logan because that's a fucked up version. But
David S. Goyer didn't realize that. because he's a giant chode.
He's also the guy who wore a Karate Kid outfit to the premiere of the Iron Fist trailer, I believe.
Oh,
So,
yeah. Was that really? Yeah.
Yes.
Well, he also wrote Man of Steel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Didn't he also make the best Joker?
Yeah.
So old white man is out
How
of touch.
dare you judge him? We all wrote Man of Steel. I'm kidding.
Man of Steel.
We are Man of Steel
along the way. All right, so to get into extras real quick, this might be something only Arlen and I care about, but Emma Stone and Yorgos, I can't pronounce that last name, team up
Lanthimos?
Yeah, to make a Frankenstein film.
Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
Dark Universe back, baby.
Is Yorgos the one who
Frank
directed Dogtooth and The Lobster?
Yes, and The Favorite and Killing of a Sacred Deer.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then I'm totally into it because he's an odd dude and his films are odd and I'm into them. So yeah.
Honestly, if this is this actually adapting the original Frankenstein story and just like not trying to be like a
No, it's adapting a one of the many sort of Frankenstein side books that have been released over the last 100 years called Poor Things.
The FC Frankenstein Cinematic Universe.
Yes. Which includes Frankenstein Unbound, which has a connection to our podcast universe here.
Frankenstein Unchained. Tupac and
Alistair Gray's novel. No, it's Alasdair. So
Alistair.
I don't know. The story would find Stone as a Bella Baxter, a volatile, oversexed, emancipated woman, and a female Frankenstein. After drowning herself to escape her abusive husband, Bella's brain is replaced by that of her unborn child.
Oh no!
This is
I don't like
yeah.
this.
Yeah, it's gonna go some weird places. This is a very, very Yorgos take.
Yes.
It fits very much in his tone of things.
Make sure my door is locked.
If it looks anything like The Favorite, it's gonna be very accurately lit for the time period. Yeah, I'm into this. Emma Stone, whatever she wants to do, I'm into it. The two of them working together again, I'm fucking there. I'm ready. Let's go. Yeah, I much prefer this to any of the leaked Dark Universe takes on
what's his name that was supposed to be Frankenstein, right?
Javier
Bardem.
Which he's not a bad choice, but like
he would have been great.
Just the whole Dark Universe thing
that I heard.
Well, I'd like to
Spanish Frankenstein.
I'd like to point out real quick that Iz's comment earlier about Frankenstein Unchained, it would be Danny Glover playing Frankenstein in Frankenstein Unchained.
Would be Danny or Donald?
No,
Donald Glover as Frankenstein. Fuck yeah!
But yeah, this sounds like the exact type of weirdness I want out of this guy because he continues to just be like, fuck you. Like, I'm just gonna do what I want. That's kind of seems to be his aesthetic. Is like, and hey, I'm gonna get nominated for Oscars for it, so fuck all of you. Yeah.
I'm gonna do a movie where a main plot point is bunnies dying. Fuck you.
Exactly.
I'll do whatever I want. So yeah, this director's weird and interesting, and I am here for it. If nobody else has any other comments, we can move on to our final story of the night.
True Detective season 4. New writers being explored, which I'm conflicted because True Detective season 3 was good because of performances in it, but the story itself, I was kind of like, So I kind of feel like it's run its course because such a huge backlash to season 2, and it felt like season 3 was trying to overcorrect in some ways. Because it tried to have too much of the, this could be something deeper and darker, and it's like, it's not really. Like, and that really only worked for season 1. So I don't know. Like, I will watch it I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this.
Yeah.
What are we talking about again?
True Detective.
I zoned out. What are we talking about?
True Detective. Season 4. Yeah.
Yeah. I agree with a lot of what you're saying, Eric. I think for me, this is just them getting to the conclusion that they should have come to after season 1, which is this always should have been a thing where every season was a new team. I feel like that they took the wrong lessons from the success of season 1, which was we'll just stick with this writer and we'll just go from there. It should have been let's find another writer who is also interesting in a different way and team him with a director, and they do their thing. Their only, rule is it needs to feel like it's akin, like it's a sibling to the first season of True Detective. And I feel like they're just getting to where they should have been in the first place. But I think those other 2 seasons existing makes that harder now. It makes it much harder to do that and to make that feel right. It's like the fact that Halloween 3 was meant to be its own thing. The problem is that it's Halloween 3. They should have just gone straight to it. They shouldn't have let people... no, he's in that's like Halloween 7 or something.
Halloween 3 is the Season of the Witch. It's the one about the masks that are possessing children and making their heads turn into bugs.
And if they wanted to do an anthology, they should have just gone to that straight away. Because the moment you put Michael Myers in another movie, you've cemented him forever, and you can't do anything else. You've shot yourself in the foot before you.
Yeah, they tried too hard to this time it's not him. It's like, why not?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or, this is backstory now, but it's still him, and Loomis is still the same age. That was the thing I think that disappointed me the most about season 2 was that initially when it was announced, it was about the secret history of the mass transit authority in Los Angeles and possible connection to Satanism and stuff like that. It's yes, that sounds like the exact type of weirdness I want. And all of that got excised because they were in such a rush to get it out. And then after season 2 bombed, they're like, we're sorry, we're going to let our writers work on things for longer.
Oh, so then season 2 was the last season of Game of Thrones, basically? They fucked it up?
Yeah, they really messed it up. Season 2 is fascinating because you get Colin Farrell giving one of the craziest fucking performances to ever be put on screen.
Yeah.
You get he threatens to fuck a man's head in front of his son.
We've all been there, right?
I mean, sometimes you got to do things,
Yeah. Can I say one funny little quick anecdote?
Yeah.
One time on a job, I threatened to punch somebody's face off in front of my boss.
Yeah. You mean
it pissed me off? Long story.
Off. Tying it back to the beginning of the show.
No. If you have to explain it, it doesn't work. No, it just season 2 left a lot of people crestfallen, and then season 3, like I said, just it tried to overcorrect too much and tried to take too many cues from the first season. It didn't feel like it had its own identity outside of the performances of Billy Dwarf, who was fucking phenomenal in season 3, and then Ali once again was so good in season 3.
Yeah,
but it just, I don't know. It feels like it's lost that spark that made True Detective interesting.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, like you said, I'm gonna watch if they put out a season 4. I'm gonna watch it just because I'm curious. And like I said, they're doing the thing that I kind of wanted them to do, anyways, which is I think is a better idea, because that idea of every season a new writer, a new director, to me that's just you're giving more people a chance to get in. You're not just well, now this writer is the thing because we said so and you're gonna listen to us, which is the attitude I feel like HBO had about that And again, we saw how that worked out for them. So yeah, I'm glad about that. It's a thing that, love him or hate him, Ryan Murphy does that. He lets other people take over, and it has resulted in some inconsistencies in the shows that he's worked on, but it's also resulted in some good television in a couple of cases. And I think that that's better, because when the disasters happen, they're not as seismic. So yeah. That's
I mean, I think the best thing True Detective could have done was continue on the slightly paranormal bent that the first season had, but they jettisoned that for the second season, and they haven't been able to get that feeling back. So yeah. I mean, I'm excited if they get the right writers, but at this point, I'm kind of like, well, maybe this will be the last season they ever do. Yeah.
And I'm fine with that too.
I'm still waiting for my Danny Glover Frankenstein Unchained.
I'm not canceling my HBO subscription anytime soon.
No, I've got to see Dune.
Yeah, exactly. If even if the TV shows we get between now and then are just more stuff at the level of quality of the head, that's fine with me.
Exactly. Yep.
This has been another edition of Eric and Arlen very quietly talking to each other.
Sorry,
your favorite show that happens every 18 months. Wow.
Yeah.
Thanks, Lou.
It's only almost 2 a.m. on the East Coast.
I'm aware.
Liberal.
Hey, you are all on the East Coast, actually. I still have one more hour of this day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Arlen, you're canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we're working on a movie with Ben Shapiro right now.
Yeah.
So bringing back the East Coast, West Coast rivalry.
Yes. Yeah. Well, I hope I get killed early, so a hologram of me can perform at Coachella.
I want my hologram to tell Kim Kardashian how special her husband is.
Oh, soon to be next.
Yeah. Soon to be living on a farm in the middle of nowhere. Well, with all of that being said, I have been your host again, Eric Fedorchak. You can find me at Instagram. I'm all over it. You can find me at Eric_Fedor on Instagram. I am the living embodiment of Instagram. I will devour your pictures of nipples. There's pictures of dogs and cats and food and comics on my Instagram. You can also find me floating around the Phantom Zone, which, hey, if you're listening to the show but you're not a member of the Phantom Zone group, come on over. I can't guarantee that there's going to be a whole lot of activity, but join anyways, just so we look good. And it'll give Hunter a weird erection.
Yeah, it will.
And
if you're into that.
If you're into that, and if you're not into that, then just send him pictures of the 9-foot-tall vampire lady from Resident Evil Village.
Yeah. Oh no! I hope I don't get captured.
The only woman.
I hope I don't become her blood bag.
Yeah. She doesn't step on me.
Yeah. Outside of that, I'm done. It's so late. Oh god, it's so late. So Arlen, I guess you're next.
I'm gonna drag this out as long as I can.
Do you and Lou want to start talking about something ridiculous? That makes me want to kill myself.
Craig, while you still can, leave the call, Craig.
No, plugs.
Alistair, please.
Alistair Crowley, the robot.
Lost Arrow podcast. Shows come out whenever the fuck I want them to come out.
He's gone mad with power, everyone.
Alvin, who's doing this to you?
The next episode should be a I've forgotten her fucking name. It should be an episode about Karen Kusama. Featuring the films Girl Fight and Aeon Flux. So look forward to that episode. Yeah, that should be fun. It should be coming out this week sometime. So yeah.
Hunter.
No.
No, that's all you got to say.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
all I got.
You can follow him at young_Kami and all the things. Do that. Spend pictures of Moon Knight getting fingered. I don't know. Moon Knight getting stepped on by large robots. I don't know. Large animal women. Any sort of thing like that. That's what young_Kami is for. He's got his own subreddit. It's a whole thing.
I do.
If you're listening to this, I'm Lou. We have other things. There's the comic show. I think we're doing an episode soon where we're going to talk about some of the comics we've been reading. And we also do like watch parties. I don't know what we're doing next. Might be either, no, it's not video game. I think it might be like anime movies to live action. Kill me. So yeah, that's a thing. And you can follow my new little puppy on Notorious Rose BG on TikTok and Instagram. Izza?
Yeah, I'm God.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't want to be blasphemous. Yeah, I do, but on Twitter, my Twitter is _Izza, IZA. Is how you spell that. Stop the steal. I'm kidding.
Oh, wait.
Just be good and enjoy your life, and I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's a good note to end on. So live your life, be a good person, and stop the steal. Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Great. Now we're all on a watch list.
Oh, like we weren't already.
Ben Shapiro put me in your
what's
movie.
going to happen? The police are going to be very lenient with us and let us into public.
I know.
No, it's you and me are in the back of a car, and everybody else is fine.
So, oh no, we're on a watch list. And what are the police going to do? Enable us?
It's